So this is Out of Focus's first pack. Um, looks like he's got a lot of good cards in there to choose from. Wow, that's a Avacyn
That
there.
Avacyn quickly pulled the front. Karn's good
Yeah,
too.
Karn's good. Avacyn looks like it's a pretty strong card. Crystalline Giant in this format, I don't know. Crystalline Giant has to be probably one of my favorite All Stars.
It's very good. He's also got Kiora pulled to the front here. Kiora is very good in most draft settings. But
I think the Crystalline Giant is going to suit him well, and it looks like that's what he's going to go with. So Crystalline Giant for pack one,
right.
pick one.
I get that.
And
It keeps
we're
him
off.
open.
It does keep him open.
It
I mean,
keeps
it's
him open
3
in colors.
mana.
It makes sense. It's colorless. It's a good card. It keeps you
Man,
open.
that Carrie Zev is just sitting on the top. He has not moved that at all.
So, as a mono red player, I'm windmill slamming this Carrie Zev and moving on to the pack.
Yeah, I think it could be a thing. However, Phyrexian Scriptures is a pretty good card, especially with having
that Gear Hulk.
Especially with having the Crystalline Giant be the pack one, pick one. It goes right along with it.
It does. It keeps an artifact synergy alive.
Yes. And it destroys everything that's not an artifact. And then nukes the graveyard. Noxious Gearhawk is a really good pick in this too. I mean, doing basically Swords to Plowshares.
Yeah, you got to think though, because if you take Noxious Gearhawk, you're passing 2 great black cards. You're passing Wrinkle and you're passing Phyrexian Scriptures.
Yeah.
So the Kari Zev pick makes sense
here.
here.
Taking the Kari Zev.
Yeah.
All right.
That makes sense here.
I think I'm good with that pick.
Oh, Earthshaker Kinra.
Earthshaker Kinra.
Oh, he's got that Kenny. Kenny.
All right, so
Kenny.
He's got some choices to make here.
Yeah.
He's got Kenrith that he's staring at.
Kenny is a more powerful card.
Yeah, Kenrith is a very, very powerful card. Incendiary Flows,
that's
not a bad card either. That gets rid of a lot of things.
Yeah, Kenny's the most powerful card in this pack, so I can see
so
why.
He does pick the Kenrith.
I don't fault that pick at all. I think
I don't either.
Earthshaker Kinra could have been an option since you took Kari Zev. The pack before, but Kenny, I go with the strategy of take the best card, take the most powerful card, and later on you kind of find out where you're sitting.
Right, and if the Earthshaker Kinra comes back to him, then
he's looking pretty good. That's a sign right there. If that Earthshaker Kinra comes back, that would be a sign to me that red's open.
Yeah, I would take that also. So far with the Crystalline Giant, the Kari Zev, and the Kenrith,
he's still open.
What would you think would be a color choice that he would start one down?
Oh, so Out of Focus here. He loves his Esper strategies.
He sure does.
He loves his Esper strategies. Me, I'm looking at Boros, but that's just me. I think with taking the Kenny, knowing Out of Focus, he took Kenny. Number 1 is the most powerful card in the pack. Number 2, it leaves him open to any color combinations that come down the line later.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the Kenny is definitely the big card. I'm surprised that it didn't get picked earlier. There must have been some really good bombs.
Yeah, I'd like to know what was in those other two.
There's a Splinter Twin.
Ooh.
And a Reckless Rage and a Hangerback Walker.
Yeah.
Wow, there's a lot of things in here. There's a whole lot of good cards that he can pick in here. Reckless Rage, that's just a really good removal card. But I have a hard time passing up the Splinter Twin.
I understand, but if you see Splinter Twin, if you see any combo pieces that happen later on, you can cut those.
Right.
Knowing that it went around, you go, okay, true. I know Splinter Twin's in this draft. If I see any combo piece with it.
You also got to think, too, like that side of the table already knows. Yeah. He's taking the Hangerback Walker.
Yeah, it's 4 picks. Yeah, again, that keeps him open.
Hangerback Walker, he's got a Cavalier
This is a red pack and a half. Sure wow. Is. Okay.
All right. So
Cavalier is the most powerful card, just at a quick glance.
Yeah.
That triple red cost, though. Because you're taking Kenny, hoping to maybe play 3 colors, maybe splash on a 4th to get all those effects off Kenny.
Yep.
And you see that Cavalier, which is the best card, but at 3 pips, that's something to think about.
Regal Leosar.
Yes.
Ooh. I mean, that's not as strong as the mono red card, but
It's not, but in this cube where mutate is a viable strategy, that's something to look at.
it's definitely a worthy card to pick.
I'm a big fan of Young Peasy.
Yeah, I am too.
Rakdos, 1 and 2 drops.
He's got some hard choices to make right here. This pack is bananas.
He took the Regal.
Wow. Going with the Regal Leosar.
And I think that comes with the knowledge of knowing what's in this cube and maybe hedging a little bit.
I think you're right.
Was that a Perforos?
That was Perforos.
That's a Vivian too.
Yeah.
And a Gideon.
And a Figure of Destiny.
Ooh, yeah.
He doesn't have anything that low on his card list there.
I think Figure Wheels. If I'm him, I'm taking the Gideon.
Yeah, I would think Figure Wheels too. Knowing that Judge is not in this cube.
Or me.
Or you.
Yep.
I think the Figure Wheels. I think the Gideon is a
that's a good pick.
Valued pick right there. Gideon's so strong.
I applaud you. OutofFocus. I'm a fan of the Boros.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be pretty good here so far.
Still looking for a few cards. I'd like to see a Rampaging Ferocidon.
Oh, is that a Vindicate?
Is that?
It's a Necropanther and a Vindicate right behind it. Me personally, I'm tied to the Vindicate.
That can be an easy splash.
But the Necropanther, again, back with the mutate version of this cube. The Yowza cube has really got that mutate strategy down.
Yes, it does.
Looks like he goes with the Vindicate, and
good removal.
Very good, very solid card. It can remove just about anything.
Oh, is that an Angel of Invention? Slam that card down right now. Don't even look at the rest of the pack. Slam the card.
Oh, you got to look at the rest of the pack.
Yeah,
There's
don't even slam it down.
Angel of Invention. That's a word.
Good job, OutofFocus.
All right, so he's holding the cards down a little bit here, but that's all right. We'll figure out what they are.
We got to work with the newbies on the cameras.
Let's see.
Is that a Midnight Reaper?
So that's a Midnight Reaper. Okay.
Maybe
he's got a Karn. Midnight
Divine
Visitation gets the pick for me. But the
I
Midnight Reaper.
Midnight Reaper. If you're going Mardu, you still have Kenny.
You still got Kenny.
You're trying to get as many colors active as you can with Kenny. And that black portion of Kenny, being able to bring back anything from the yard, is very good.
It's very true, but he's also got many cards right there that make tokens.
Yes. Yeah,
and all of those tokens come back
as angels.
Yep.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. The Divine Visitation.
Yep.
That's such a strong card in Limited also.
Very
especially
good
in Cube. Let's see. Looks like the Phyrexian Scriptures came back to him. He's looking at a Pyramid of the Pantheon and a Fling and a Crumbling Necropolis.
That gives him black.
That gives him black and red.
That makes sense. And that also is that's a blue source for Kenny.
It's a blue source for Kenny.
Yep.
I think that's a pretty good pick. Let's see. Looks like he's looking at a Cloud Piercer. Cloud Piercer's a solid card.
I'm taking Lawkeeper.
Yeah, Lawkeeper definitely
tapping things down.
Taps stuff down. Yeah, with all of these cards he's got so far, tapping things down in Limited is a very solid strategy. Oh, look, you've got a blocker? No, you don't.
No, you don't.
All right, so we're getting into the later picks. Looks like this is the 12th pick.
I might cut Fauna or Voracious, but I
think I cut the
one
Voracious.
Of the two. Yeah,
Voracious Hydra. That's a hard card to deal with.
It is. You don't want the green deck having too many fighties.
No, not at all. Especially with the people.
Well, especially with what he's drafted so far. He doesn't have a lot of big body boys yet.
Yeah.
So, that Cavalier came back.
Sure did. Chandra's Triumph.
Triumph.
Yeah, that was in the pack.
Yeah, man.
You didn't even notice that the last time.
I didn't.
I think the Chandra's Triumph is a good pick here because it keeps his red pips down.
Yep.
especially if he decides that that's what he's going to be in is Mardu red white black.
Oh, Duretti, that
Yeah,
man.
yeah, that
Red
was a
is
windmill
open.
slam.
Yeah, Red, he's in his lane.
I think the red one pips is open.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, because everyone's splashing the 3-pip cards.
All right.
That was a joke for everybody else.
Last one is Necropanther, which is splashable in his deck right now.
Yeah. He begins to look.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with pick 1 so far, or pack 1, I should say.
Yeah, I think I'm happy with pack 1 too. So the takes so far, I'm very happy with Crystalline Giant. Kinrith was a surpriser for me, being his third pick. I'm surprised it made it through 2 other people to get to him.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing what the first 2 picks were from that pack.
Yeah, I would be interested in that too. I think the other players might not have valued Kinrith right out of the rip. I mean, Kinrith is a card that you can pick as a pack 1 pick 1, and you can cut it as a pack 1 pick
Absolutely, you're still open.
1. Right.
You're not set to a certain color or a strategy.
Right.
He literally says, whatever you want me in, I can play, or if you don't need me, see you later.
Right. Hangerback's good. The Gideon's really good. I'm pleased with the Gideon. The Vindicate, I think, being one of his few pieces of removal so far.
He's light on removal. He got Chandra Triumph and Vindicate.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm actually very interested in now is he could have an artifact token synergy with Divine Visitation, Angel of Invention, Duretti, and Hangerback. So, and Crystalline is an artifact as well. So, if I'm him,
Karizev creates one every turn.
So I'm looking for those kind of cards in the second and third packs. See what comes.
And that Karizev and that Angel of Karizev and Divine Visitation.
That's a 4/4.
It's a 4/4 that doesn't exile.
That doesn't exile
because it negates the rest of the text. So I'm pretty interested about that. Pretty excited to see it. So we're getting ready for pack 2 here. We've got pack 1 already down in the books, and it was pretty solid. Looked like it was Mardu. Looks like he's got some white Cataclysmic Gearhawk right away. Lava Brink, Gonti.
My.
This pack is stacked.
Is that a stuffy doll?
It is a stuffy doll.
And
a Triumph.
Gonti's just so good.
Yeah, Gonti's so good. So good. Rally for the Throne is all right, but it's
I think
not
that'll come
Gonti.
back. Yeah, it's not.
Thieves Guild Enforcer. I don't.
So my concern with the Gonti pick right now is he's not hard into black yet. This would be a heavy.
It would be a heavy shift.
Black commitment.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think it would be a heavy black commitment.
I'm either taking mine would be Lava Brink or Cataclysmic, with God's Willing being in third.
Yeah.
Now, if you cut the Gonti, I don't fault you for that, but I don't think you play Gonti if you're out of focus at this point.
Yeah, I think it's too early to see if.
And we'll see how disciplined he is. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, you're absolutely right. That's exactly where I was going with it. I think if he takes Gonti, it's more of a cut.
It looks like he's taking it. It's one of those cards that just.
It is. You see it, you got to take it. It's almost like bribery.
It is. It's the black bribery. You are not wrong.
All right. So, what's he getting past here?
I'm a huge fan of Bosri's Lieutenant.
Yeah, Bosri's Lieutenant.
Haktos.
And
wow.
Haktos.
Path Exile. Path.
Yeah, I think Path is the right pick here. Deluge is pretty good too.
Deluge is good. But with Yowza's Cube not having any true name nemesis, does he have Hex Drinker?
I mean, he's got Haktos.
He's got Haktos, which does get rid of it.
And
that's true.
I think he does have Hex Drinker.
Okay, so if he has those kind of cards, then Deluge becomes much better.
Yeah. Bowser's Lieutenant is a very good card.
I think.
But I think Path is definitely the card I would go with.
I think Haktos
doesn't make it the right.
Is coming back to you.
Doesn't make it the right pick. And look at him; he's gonna go back and check with the rest.
When
hey
Path
guys,
X,
what do you want here?
When you get a Path or a Swords,
path?
It's the 2 best removal spells ever printed.
Yeah. 1 mana, get
Kill
rid of
anything.
it. As long as it's not hexproof.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You-
I think he's got it.
yes.
So he's got a Gonti and Angrath's Rampage.
Ooh,
Angrath's
Snapdax.
Rampage is really good. Snapdax is...
Ooh.
That's a solid
Doomblade,
card.
Lyra.
Lyra.
I'm a huge fan of Lyra. I don't know what other people think.
I'm a huge fan of Lyra too.
But that he's looking at that Snapdax.
She's got first strike, flying, and lifelink. I mean, what else could you want? Terminus?
Because here's the thing. Snapdax is probably going to wheel. Lyra is not wheeling.
No, Lyra's not wheeling, but Snapdax might wheel.
Here and
Actually, the guy sitting across from him might take Snapdax.
I mean, yeah, he is passing to Yowza, so you are correct. But man,
and that Gonti, like he's now open to playing Gonti.
he's not even looking at the rest of the pack.
Yeah, I windmill slam the Mimic
Vat. This pack's done.
Yeah,
I know out of focus. This pack's done.
Mimic Vat is everybody's favorite play toy.
That card's just busted.
What's that? Eldest Reborn. Looks like he's going with that or the Dire Tactics. Dire Tactics is a great card.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good on you for that. That's solid removal right there.
So his removal's gotten a lot better in Pack 2 already.
Yeah. Everybody underestimates that.
Heroic Reinforcements. Ooh, buddy. As a Boros player, give me that all day.
I think he's definitely merged into the Mardu.
He's Mardu, but and you see him pull Fabled Passage to the front.
Yeah. Fabled Passage might actually give him something that he feels he needs, which is land fixing, mana fixing.
Yeah, he hasn't seen too much of it. We've seen like a Hollow Fountain, like a Rootbound Crag, and some other, off-color fixing. Haven't seen any on-color fixing for Out of Focus yet.
Right.
And you can see him. He's sinking. He's looking through his deck. So. He's looking back at it.
Yeah. He's looking right back at it. So
that Heroic Reinforcements.
I think Heroic Reinforcements.
As someone who plays a lot of Boros decks that top out at 4.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Look at that. He's pulling the Ozolith up. Nobody understands what the Ozolith is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Handwear Militia Captain. Man. Flip him over. Yeah.
Yep. Divine Visitation. Sounds good. Is that a Taylor Swift Spear? And his Signet. He's probably taking the Signet.
Yeah, so that Heroic Reinforcements also works with that Divine Visitation.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
That'll make that card really, really bananas.
And it's exactly what we talked about. He's looking for those effects in Pack 2 now.
Yeah.
So handwear flipping. Yeah, he's got a lot of effects right now that can really take advantage of that Divine Visitation. And here's the thing is, he's got these effects for Divine Visitation, but his deck's still good. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
He's not reliant upon Divine Visitation winning the game.
Yeah, absolutely right. Divine Visitation is there, and I hate to use the term win more
Mimic
for
that? It creates a token that's a copy of the card.
It sure does.
So he could have the 3-mana 4/4 Angel.
Yeah.
Every turn.
On a whim.
On a whim. That seems pretty good.
That does seem pretty good. With Vigilance. Don't those angels have Vigilance too? Rally for the Throne over the Lava Brink? I think Rally for the Throne's a pretty good card.
Haktos.
Yeah, I'd go with the Haktos. I don't know.
Chain Whirlers.
Chain Whirlers.
That 3-pip commitment,
Yeah. We talked about this in Pack 1.
As someone who plays Boros and Mono Red.
He went right to it. But
I would have taken the Haktos.
He pushed it to the bottom. Yeah, I think I would have taken the Haktos too. It fits his curve a little better, but at the same time, maybe that cat.
You also got Duretti.
Yeah. Cub Warden.
Yeah, he's going for a little bit more of the mutate sub theme that he has going on here. So you can see him starting to piece together this deck, though. He's got
Yeah.
a
So
lot of good synergies.
so maybe that Chain Whirler was a cut.
And I can see that.
Because it could be a hard card for him to cast. It looks like he's moving his cuts up to the front.
But then if it's a
pretty
cut,
smart.
though, like, he doesn't have a lot of cards that get hurt
Yeah.
by Chain Whirler.
No, he doesn't, but Chain Whirler's awfully hard. D-Spark, yeah. D-Spark's a solid card right away.
Yeah. He's definitely Mardu right now.
Yeah, I'd say he's pretty firmly planted himself in Mardu. What's he going to take here? I don't.
Maze Mind Tome's not bad.
I think Maze Mind Tome's all right.
Yeah.
I personally have never played with the card. It's never been one that's really tickled my fancy. But I've seen other people play with it, and it seems to be a pretty solid card.
Yeah.
So he's going to take it. Looks like he might
He's probably
shove
not.
to the bottom.
It's not. I don't think it's going to be played.
Manifold Key.
Untap target artifact.
Yeah, that untaps your Mimic Vat, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Mimic Vat have to tap?
Yes. I believe so.
All right, so I think he's got one more pick or two more picks. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think there's 14 cards already picked
so
here. So he's got one more. He's going to get past his last card as soon as the beatdown figures out what he wants.
Hopefully more cards that beat down.
Yeah, hopefully.
That's
So
your dad joke for the day, people.
He got him a Pride Sovereign. Yeah, we're gonna skip right over the dad joke. That was pretty terrible. All right, so now that Pack 2 is done, he's definitely solidified himself as Mardu.
Mardu for sure.
That's what I'm taking out of it. If he decides just to go Boros, though, he's still pretty solid that he could probably just go Boros. But at this point, having cards like Gonti, the removal that he's got with Dire Tactics, D-Spark, and the Vindicate, I think he has to splash the black.
And the one thing that he need, the lack of fixing is a worry at this point. I'd prioritize that in Pack 3.
Yeah,
Focus.
I would do that too.
He did not take the Fabled Passage either.
No, he didn't. But
so
someone else did.
Someone else did, and it's.
I mean, he does have a Boros Signet, and he's also got the other Triumph.
Well, and because my concern is,
not the Triumph.
He
took
the
Crumbling Necropolis.
Yeah, Crumbling Necropolis, which is Grixis.
Yes.
With the Gonti though, like if you're going Mardu, you're now trying to play Gonti.
Yes.
That double pip is difficult on turn 4.
And if you don't go Mardu, you've got Path to Exile and Chandra's the removal card, Chandra's Triumph.
Chandra's Triumph, yes.
Yeah, you've got those as removal cards now, and that's it. So I think in reality, going into Pack 3, I feel like he probably should try to move into a solid Mardu. Look for those mana fixing. Look for maybe a couple extra black cards, maybe a couple of red cards to help.
I'd agree.
Put a good solid foot down. But I think in this, the key picks for me, the Path to Exile, the Mimic Vat, the 2 big pieces of removal, the Heroic Reinforcements. I think those are...
Yeah, Heroic Reinforcements. That to me was the pick of the pack. You can talk about Path to Exile, Gonti. I'm a big fan of Heroic Reinforcements. I've been at many contests, many games with that card by itself. Yep. So
it's a good solid card. Here we go. We're going to get into Pack 3 now. We'll see if he can get that elusive mana fixing that he desperately needs.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he might be stuck in Boros. Looks like he's got a Goblin Guide. He's got a Savai Triumph right there.
Okay.
I think if he's going to be if he's going to be the Mardu guy, he needs to take the Triumph. The Savai Triumph gives him the 3 colors that he needs.
That should be
But
the pick, but
the Goblin Guide's a pretty solid card. He's got a Metallic Mimic that seems okay too. Duplicate makes another token.
so it depends on the player as well. I prioritize mana over most things. And if he really wants to play this Gauntine and he wants to splash out black, I think the Triumph has to be the pick. This could determine whether he goes Mardu or he stays in Boros, and I think that's what he's deciding right here. Do I have enough to be Boros?
Right.
Can I be just a Boros deck, or do I need to splash these black cards?
Can I be a Boros deck with 2 pieces of removal?
With that Mimic Vat, that does kind of scare me. Because you want to have control over that Mimic Vat and what goes under it.
Right.
And you see him pulling the Triumph.
I think the Triumph.
Yep.
I think the Triumph seems like it's going to be it. The Triumph's going to help him out so much. So
this is a good pack for him. This is a really good pack for him. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
There's a Lightning Bolt.
Wow.
Thalia.
Okay.
Did I just see a Brash Taunter, which is another stuffy
doll?
There's 2 stuffy dolls.
2 stuffy dolls
in this draft.
I don't know if he has any combos with that, but man, that.
I'm sure there's got to be a pariah floating around in there somewhere.
I would hope so.
All right. So Elspeth Conquers Death, like it exiles the card.
It exiles, and that's the thing. Like we talked, he has a Mimic Vat.
Yeah.
Do you want the exile effect? You want things going to the graveyard.
Do you want
get that under Mimic Vat?
So it looks like he's going to take it. So maybe the Mimic Vat becomes something that he's going to cut at the end.
It could be. I mean, maybe when he takes a look at it in deck building, he realizes this isn't something I want to do, or maybe he just says, "Hey, Mimic Vat's so good, I'm just going to play it, and whatever I can get, I can get." It's rather interesting. Path to Exile, Elspeth, those exile things, and those are 2 good removal.
Looks like
spells.
Yowza across the table from him just had the hardest pick of his life.
Was there a lot of good Gruul cards in that pack?
Who knows, but it looks like when he sat his card, he's still thinking about it.
Yeah, Sean, let's out of focus. Let's take a look.
Yeah, you've got enough time. So, I think that Divine Visitation is going to be a big card out of this.
Yeah.
Seeing those other token makers that he's got really makes me value that card higher. Comball, ooh. Look at all this. I'd stay away from that Everquell Phoenix.
Yes, just stay away from that.
But the Combustible Gearhawk. Combustible Gearhawk can equal a lot of damage. That can equal a whole lot of damage. Plus, it's got First Strike.
And it's a 6/6.
Yeah. It's also a Garuda in
that
there.
Garuda now. Hear me out. He has a Mimic Vat.
He does.
Hear me out. He has a Mimic Vat. That puts things in the yard.
It does. There's also a Massacre Worm there. But that's on that triple pip. That's a whole lot of pips to be going around.
No, obviously the Garuda doesn't combo with Mimic Vat. I want to make that known. But Kumball, I see that, yeah.
Kumball is a solid pick. There's a whole lot of things that can be played out of this. What else does he got in here? What's he looking at now? It looks like he's looking at a Savage Land. So
Jund Land.
Yeah. Still gets him the red and the black.
Which is
so he's got 2 land sources. He's got 2 land sources that have red and black, one that's got white.
He's got one that has blue as well.
And it does appear that he's starting to focus on fixing quite a bit.
Yeah. Which is something we mentioned earlier.
It is something we mentioned earlier, but it looks like he's really, really done that. Looks like it's something that...
Does that give him all 5 colors for Kenny?
Yes.
I think it does. I think he now has access to all 5
Savage
colors.
Land's being Jund.
He has Kremling Necropolis for Grixis, for blue. Yeah, I think he has all 5 sources of mana now for his Kenny.
Yeah.
And he's still mainly a Mardu deck, and that's
going to be big.
That's big for him.
That's going to be real big.
If he can get a Kenny out with all that mana available, he can just have Kenny go to work.
Yeah.
And Kenny can take over a game. We've seen it happen.
And if Kenny dies, he's got a Mimic Vat.
He's got a Mimic Vat. Seems good. Seems good.
Yeah. He's got a Mimic Vat that does Mimic Vat exile the card when it dies?
Judge. No.
Does Mimic Vat exile the card when it dies? You choose to exile it under Mimic Vat?
Under Mimic Vat, correct.
Okay.
I believe it's
So
like
he
imprint.
he can't
imprinted,
reanimate. He can't reanimate his Kenny.
No.
While Kenny's
no.
been made a token. So he's got some decent cards here. There's a Heliod, yeah.
Anytime I see Heliod, it's scary. Yes.
Heliod's going to be the pick here.
That card combos with so many things, and it's just a good card. The ability to gain that life and to put that counter on a creature, it
really is. It's
a very powerful card.
It's what some people would say busted.
Yes.
It does look like he moved it right back up to the front of his.
Yeah, there he goes.
There he goes. All right.
Yeah.
So for those of you that are not following what he's doing, it seems like his cuts he has flipped one way, and his choices flipped the other way,
upside down to where we can't read them.
Yes, and I think he does that on purpose to try to confuse us. But it's a good thing that we can't read letters, but we can read pictures.
We can read, yes, and then we assume that the card does something, because that's what we do as Magic players.
I think we assume what it does is different than what it.
Oh, Mirror Battle Sphere and Golos.
Flame Rush Rider.
You're reading Flame Rush, but now you have all 5 colors for Golos that can activate Golos.
Yeah. You've got mana to be able to cast Ashiok, but you also might want to cut Ashiok.
I don't. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, is he trying to cut Ashiok now?
I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't fault him.
I wouldn't fault him at all.
Maybe he feels like the Flame Rush Rider might come back to him.
I'm looking at that Golos.
Or the Golos.
It's you're trying to say what a person's going to do, and it's rather difficult. Because I'm looking at that going, man, there's Golos, there's a Mirror Battlefield. Hopefully one of those will. That Flame Rush is good. But when you're doing the things that he's doing, I like that Golos. It also gets a land.
Yeah.
It can go fix his mana.
Did you notice that? He did have his cuts upside down.
Yes.
Well, right side up.
Right side up.
It looks like he's looking at some more pieces of removal possibly here. He's got a Fire Prophecy that he pulls right out.
Traveler's Amulet can help.
Traveler's Amulet can help a lot. Fire Prophecy is a fine magic card.
It's a good removal.
3
and again,
damage.
It fits better with Mimic Vat.
Yeah.
Does that exile?
No, it doesn't exile.
That's
but
the one that you can put on the bottom.
Put a card from your hand onto the bottom. But he's also, what is that card there? Is that, he put it down too fast.
Get my cuts out of the way.
Oh, now he flips them right side up. Hey, we can read these now. Thanks, OutofFocus.
We appreciate that.
And here's to OutofFocus. All right.
Yeah, so I didn't see what the top, what's that?
The very top card?
Yeah, that he has in
land.
No, right
that's
Gutter Bones. Okay.
Yeah, Gutter Bones, Twilight Panther.
I take the Prophecy.
And the Prophecy. I think the Prophecy is the right card.
But I can see Gutter Bones.
But Gutter Bones is a pretty good card too. I think what he was doing there was counting his creatures and his spells.
I think he was. Also...
And if we count real fast, we might be able to keep up with him. And I can't. Because I can't count real fast. I gotta have
5. I gotta have 5 pieces of removal.
I gotta have all my toes out.
5 pieces of removal with 2 that exile.
Yeah, and as somebody is saying, number of playables.
Yes, I think he has.
See, I don't always look at him as playables. I look at him as creatures and non-creatures.
Non-creatures, but usually, and he could have been counting that.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going with the Gutter Bones, and I think that's the right choice for what he's trying to do. It looked like he was a little light on some creatures. And plus Gutter Bones can give him another target for the Mimic Vat.
The doggo, maybe?
Yeah, I think the Selfless Savior is just like the Selfless Spirit, except for that it only protects one creature.
Yes, it's a Selfless Bodyguard.
Yes, it is. A Dauntless Bodyguard.
Selfless Bodyguard.
But it's selfless.
But is it?
It does all the bodyguard work for everything.
Is it a spirit?
No, it's a doggo.
Oh, okay. So
and it counts as dog. Doggo.
Tectonic Giant, I agree with that pick.
Yeah,
Sorry, you gotta listen to us, guys.
even if you're cutting the Tectonic Giant,
I like that card. I think it's
it's a good
playable.
card.
Scrap Heap, Luca.
Yeah.
I think
Is
Scrap Heap.
Luca again, does it play with what he's wanting to do?
Nah.
Because
You
again,
take
you got to
Scrap Heap.
mimic that. And you're going to exile a creature that you have to go get a bigger creature.
Did he take that? Yeah.
Did he take that? Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Looks
Worthy
like he's got a
That's
Worthy
what I was.
Knight.
Yeah, that's he put it down really fast.
Well, there's the Massacre Worm again. I think the Massacre Worm gets it.
He's probably looking at, does this kill a lot of my creatures?
Right.
What do you want to cut from here?
Yeah, the Tree Speaker.
Tree Speaker or Cruel Harpooner, maybe? Because Cruel Harpooner can kill my angel.
Yeah, but you got a Selfless Dog that's going to protect it.
That's your hope.
You got a Narset that you might actually be able to cast.
He could cast that.
You got
You are correct.
a Porky Parrot.
I think
Bugler. And a Militia Bugler. I think.
All right, he does have that little mutate sub theme.
Yeah. And that doesn't fit on the Bugler because I think the Bugler is a human.
Yeah, how many humans does he have? I know he has Handweir.
Well, he's got Handweir. Is Kenrith a...
Kenrith is a human. He's
a human noble, yeah.
And he might be checking that right now as we speak.
He might
How many non-humans do I have for this mutate? He's coming back. He's pulled Bugler back to the front.
He's looking at it again. He's thinking... Looks like he's having a hard pick on this one.
OutofFocus is a very thorough drafter. That's one thing I've noticed about him. He's very
true.
thorough.
Very true.
He has a lot of good subtle synergies.
Likes to check all his boxes.
Yeah.
Make sure it's something that fits or works or is a worthy cut.
Yeah, he knows he's got his major win cons with Divine Visitation and all the token generation that he has, and now he's like, how do I not lose to where I can get to this part of the game where I can just take over?
I think he's taking the Bugler.
Yeah, it's a smart pick.
It is a smart pick. I wonder how many creatures he's got that are low enough to get with it. He's got a Handwear that he.
Yeah, and it might not even make the deck.
It might not.
He might get back the deck.
Marwin's a good cut for being here at the end. I'm surprised that the card is around.
And he got Twilight
Panther right back to him, which can work in his deck.
Yeah,
he's got both sources of mana to pay for it.
Yeah.
And then he can mimic that.
He can mimic that. Give it death touch.
Give it death touch again. Ew.
So
that's terrible. So out of this pack, he's got the fixing, which I think is the biggest point for me.
Yes.
He's got a couple other cards that help him edge into that black territory for being Mardu. He's got a couple of cards that I would maybe like to see him try to play, but maybe wouldn't, like Massacre Worm. I think Massacre Worm is just a great card for removal, but it's triple pips.
It's triple pip.
So it might be hard for him to eke out. Heliod is Heliod. I think that's a good card. I think it fits with the theme. It gives him some incremental life gain here and there. Puts +1/+1 counters on things. It also works with combo.
It works with everything he's got. Now, the only thing that I've noticed here is, with the Scrap Heap Scrounger, the Gutterbones, and Kenny, the Scrap Heap in particular kind of fights against Kenny. That could be something to keep in mind as he's building his deck and as he's playing his games. The Scrap Heap's just a great card. It's a 2-mana 3/2, and it just says attack. And if it dies, I can come right back.
Yes.
So we'll see how that plays out in his gameplay, but I like what I see so far. There's some good themes going on here. I really like the token strategy that he has.
I like that too.
He's not focused on it, and that's what I like about the way he's drafted this deck. He has his Divine Visitation strategy that he wants to implement. He wants to get those 4/4 angels out and just beat you with them. But I think his deck's going to be good even without the Divine Visitation, and I think that's a credit to his ability to have a few different synergies within his draft. Kenny, that card's a powerhouse. If you've ever drafted with Kenny, that card does work.
Yeah.
It does absolute work. I'm interested to see where this goes. I'm interested to see what his final deck looks like. He's got a lot of difficult cuts to make, I think, personally.
I think he does too. He's really going to have to work to see what fits with whatever strategy he comes up with. When you go back and you look at the things that he's got that he can mutate,
Yeah. How much
he
of that does he play? You know?
right, he's got some humans in here,
Yeah.
and that could be a scary thing to try to mutate onto something. Mutate doesn't work with a lot of these creatures.
Right. And maybe it's something he cuts. You know? Does he play the Mimic Vat? You know, having 5 sources of removal with 2 of those exiling things. You know, are you going to rely on combat now to get things under the Mimic Vat? There's some choices, and I want to see where he ends up with this.
Yeah, I want to see where he does too.